Welcome everyone to WarThunder Histories, episode 16, and today we're looking at one of the more bizarre tank engagements in history, when a Centurion Mark III from the 8th Kings Royal Irish Hussars knocked out a Cromwell which was originally from their own regiment during the Korean War in 1951. I hope you enjoy. In early January of 1951, 15 Cromwells from Cooper Force, commanded by Captain D.L. Astley Cooper of the 8th Kings Royal Irish Hussars, were sent to support the Royal Ulster Rifles in what the troops called Happy Valley. The 8th Hussars did have the more modern Centurion Mark IIIs, however they were too large to move down the narrow roads towards the valley, so the smaller Cromwells had to be sent instead. With China having entered the war to support the North Koreans, using human wave tactics, the Cromwells of Cooper Force were quickly overwhelmed by the hundreds of thousands of Chinese infantry. Although most of the Cromwells were knocked out or put out of action by their crews, a handful were captured intact or with very minor damage. My own grandfather's Cromwell, H for Halifax, was captured with only one of its tracks having been thrown after the vehicle slipped off the road in the dark. Because of the speed of the Chinese advance, his crew, like many, did not have time to spike their gun. To spike the gun, the crew would load a solid shot round into the gun breech as well as placing another round into the barrel, and the gun would be fired, which would split the barrel to prevent its use. In February of 1951, Centurions from 3rd Squadron 8th Kings Royal Irish Hussars were advancing towards the South Korean capital of Seoul. Two Centurions moving towards the Han River spotted a vehicle under the Han River Railway Bridge. Due to the extreme range, the Centurions couldn't identify the vehicle type. As the unidentified vehicle was to their front, it had to be enemy and it had to be destroyed. One of the Centurions fired a round at 3,000 yards or 1.7 miles, which would be a world record distance shot at the time, hitting the vehicle. The second Centurion also fired and hit the vehicle, setting it alight with no rounds fired in return. Both the Centurions advanced towards the now burning wreck, only to discover, to their surprise, that not only was it a British-made Cromwell captured at Happy Valley, but it was from their own regiment. Throughout the Korean War, captured vehicles would show up on the opposing side frequently, usually being manned by North Korean tank crews. To add to this very bizarre engagement, this was the first tank-on-tank kill for a Centurion, ever, along with being the only tank-on-tank kill for a Centurion during the Korean War. So to recap, a British Centurion Mark III made a world record distance shot, scoring the first tank-on-tank kill for a Centurion, and the only tank kill for a Centurion during the Korean War, on a British Cromwell from their own regiment. Also, I'd like to mention that although it's nearly impossible to confirm fully, it is very, very likely that the Cromwell was my grandfather's Cromwell, since he was captured with his vehicle almost completely intact aside from a single track being thrown, and as well as the interviews he gave to the Imperial War Museum before I was born. And that's also the reason why I really wanted to put this on the channel, because it's a little piece of personal history. Anyways guys, if there's a vehicle or battle you'd like to see on the series, let me know in the comment section below or in my Discord server, which you will also find a link for in the description down below. Of course, if you've enjoyed today's video and you like what I do, please consider leaving me a like or subscribing, and I'd quickly like to thank Golden, Creeper and Sparky for helping me gather the footage for today's video, and as always, thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.